Episode, whatever I'll just do 53.
Yeah.
Live on tube.
Nice.
Do you want to tweet that out, Dave, or
Yeah.
somebody?
Get her going.
Oh, that's right.
Does it say we're live, Deep? Yeah,
I got the notification on the phone. It said you're live on
I
tube.
got it right here.
All right, so we're live on tube. Oh, get facial hair.
Yeah, fix that deal.
Okay, that's good. That's running good. I'll restart this real quick. It's already been over a minute. Cool. Oh, and I believe just like that, we're live.
All right.
Gentlemen, episode 53, year 2 of the Bros.
Season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1 kicks off, and we're doing a little different. Our focus today is all animal stories.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to try and pick a topic and just stick to that topic and cover current events with it. Just chat about it.
I think we could go
Should
some
be fun.
interesting places.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Narrows our focus a little bit more. But and we have special guest Denny on today.
Great to be here in place of Jay.
Yep.
Sorry you couldn't be here, Jay. Hope you're feeling better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I will take the stand immediately. I was talking to my parents. They came up this past weekend, as you boys know.
Mm-hmm.
And they were telling me about what they had when they were in college and what in Nelson Park what existed. And so when they were going to school, and you know that we have a post on Instagram of us sitting there. You're riding quote unquote Jay, but it's a grizzly bear that you're riding. That is
right.
actually a memorial for a real life bear that was actually caged
Are you
up
kidding me?
in Nelson Park.
Why wouldn't we do some Googling before I
had
did all
no
that?
idea.
God.
It's hard to find online. There's almost zero records on it. But my parents were saying how a typical night out, if hey, let's go down to the bars, they'd walk down to the bars, go see the bear, and then go to the bars.
You go see the bear.
And so the bear, I guess, was in there. His only toy was a bowling ball, and he was just trapped in this cage.
That's so sad.
And there was I think they considered it a slight zoo. And there was 20 deer, a few raccoons, and then this bear.
So that's kind of a tribute because he's gone now, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know his name or anything. I couldn't find that, but I think he was shot. I think the bear was shot, and that not in the cage or anything, just previous, and then they caught it, and it was really injured or something like that.
Okay.
So apparently the bear was specially challenged and would just do weird stuff in the cage, and so who knows if it was a good or bad thing for the bear, but nonetheless,
There's a statue of him now.
there's a statue.
Yeah,
He'll
do
forever
something
be
good.
remembered.
And I was saying now, if that existed nowadays, there would be riots on campus. There would be picketing.
Absolutely.
People would be furious.
That's a good point. We're a lot more sensitive to all that, but I wish we would have known that before we were taking pictures with them.
Can you believe that though?
Gosh.
They had a little bear cage right down the road.
And you could just go and see the bear pretty much at any time.
Check out the bear. It was an outdoor zoo kind of thing. So you just
It lived
walked
outside
up.
just all the time.
Yeah, it was caged
It's
up.
just-
Just walked
wow.
up, said hi to the bear, and then go downtown,
What a
grab a
terrible
drink.
life. That's sad.
Yeah, I don't know how big it was per se, but it's crazy.
That cage couldn't have been big enough.
No,
I can't.
it's never.
imagine.
Cages are never big enough. It
No.
seems like for animals.
No.
Wow, interesting.
The habitat.
No.
I can't. Yeah, I had no idea that existed.
Wow, well that's kind of cool. It's a piece of Mount Pleasant history.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Touch a little poll really quick.
Yeah, please. I just wanted to.
Yeah, no,
tell
that was.
I was excited to
a
tell
cool
that.
thing to preface with. So this week the poll was: would you rather be an animal in the water, on land, or primarily in the air? And pretty good spread. 33% of people said they'd want to be an animal pertaining to water, and 23% said land animals, and 44% of people took it home and said they want to be in the air.
So air wins.
Air wins.
And land loses, which is interesting because we actually are all land mammals.
That's a very good point. Yeah,
Well, what would you guys say?
I picked land, but now I feel super uncreative for picking land. When you put it that way, because we already are.
Yeah, I guess that's what drove me to not pick land. Was
Yeah.
just that there's so much more out there, and I picked water because it's the ocean. Our oceans are just so vast, and there could be so much in there that we have no idea about.
a lot of
and
exploring.
if I lived there, it would just allow me to explore it that much more.
Yeah. To a point.
Sure,
To a point.
sure.
What'd you go with there, Hot Shot?
I picked land too.
Did you?
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not extremely happy about the choice, but
Me
at the
either.
same time, that's where most of the animals are. And so if I get to pick from a wide spread, and here's all the animals that are on land, whereas being in water, you just got. And do you consider mammals that move from water to land or anything like? Because there's even alligators that are sometimes.
We could kind of categorize. If you have a certain animal in mind, maybe we could clear it up. Or
I was just curious
Okay.
if we're specifying that.
I don't know. Is that a definitive? Like, absolutely, there are more animals on land than in water. Is that a for sure thing? Because you just said the majority of animals are on land.
Oh no, I guess that's not for sure.
Okay.
I feel like we don't have enough information
Yeah.
to really go on.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Yeah, that's something I'm gonna bring up a little bit later. Is I have a couple numbers and stuff pertaining to the ocean. I had a feeling
Nice.
that would come up at some point. It has to.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. I don't know. Water. I get creeped out by animals.
That was part of it. The
yeah.
water's so dark too.
Oh,
Who knows?
true.
It's a oasis, and you don't know where you're going. It doesn't seem very happy. It's
cold and dark.
cold and dark,
Mhm.
and you're just grinding. You don't really know where you are.
But if you were a fish, you might have some kind of special
Oh yeah,
adaptation.
you got your.
that
Oh,
lets
you totally
see.
would. You totally
Oh
would.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'd be a lot different, but still.
But you saying how big it is at the same time, that also kind of scares me.
It definitely
It's
does.
a lot to cover.
It's a lot of ground to cover.
There's always
Yeah.
a bigger fish out there.
There's always
Absolutely.
bigger. Yeah.
I read something today. I want to say, I don't know if it's a sperm whale or what, but a whale's like mating call is the loudest animal-made sound on the planet. It's like 188 decibels or something
Whoa.
ridiculous like that.
Well, it probably has
This is
to
a
travel.
sperm whale, or
It's
what
got to
whales?
travel such a far
Yeah.
distance. It's got to
I think
be
it's
loud.
sperm whales. Ridiculous.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Was there any number twos or anything, or just you saw that?
No, that was that. I guess it's by a long shot though. I
Oh,
don't think
okay.
anything really comes close.
Wow.
But that's kind of a good point. It probably has to travel far distances.
Think about how far it has
Yeah.
to go. Wow.
What's the purpose of a whale's life? I mean, I know they eat like a lot of stuff in the ocean, and they travel north and stuff, but like what are they? I guess you could say that for a lot of animals at the same time, but what are they traveling north for? To get more food and train their babies? And,
Yeah, well, they migrate mainly to go after food if it gets really cold.
Mhm.
Maybe they're going for krill. Krill might go south to stay a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
or I know a lot of fish and sharks included kind of go through life and reproduce. They go back to the spot that they were born in. So that's a huge migration for them to do as well.
Gotcha.
It's so primal.
Yeah,
It is. It's all
ridiculous.
instinctual.
That's what's crazy. They're just going on whatever their
Yeah.
gut is.
Like
And then-
salmon. That's what salmon do when they're swimming upstream and they're going back to where they were born, so they can give birth.
But how do you navigate as a fish or a
They just-
whale or whatever you may be?
Like,
That's just insane.
Think about when you make choices where, God, that was a gut choice I just made. That's their entire life. They don't necessarily think; they just
Right.
go with their gut.
Yeah,
That's a life
good way
of,
to put it.
of a fish.
Wow, I didn't think about it that
Where
way.
they can follow the stars or something. I really don't know.
Yeah, like what's the highlight of a fish's life / whale /
Like the peak.
Probably
Like the-
giving birth. Probably
Yeah.
reproducing.
maybe
That's
what
what
they
it is
live
for
to do.
most.
raising their their youth.
But I mean, you
Yeah,
could almost
something like that.
argue. You could almost argue for our race as well. A lot of people look forward to that building
That's
other.
that's definitely
Yeah,
true.
No, 100%.
For a lot of people, it is. Yeah.
Biologically, we all have that instinct to reproduce. Like we have to do that. That's what we're on this earth for.
Do you guys think we have any other do you guys have any instincts that kick in every once in a while?
When I'm watching The Price is Right, yes. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of instincts.
What is that supposed to mean?
What do you mean? That show is all instincts and intuition. Actually, it's a lot of chance, but it's a lot of instinct, too.
One crazy thing is a lot of hunters will actually starve themselves before they go out and hunt.
Oh, my gosh.
And so they'll be on a 5-day fast going out to their hunting trip. And they see it as, I have to get food or else I'm going to starve. And they literally feel their senses heightened. They can smell things better. Their vision is better further away. They're a lot more focused. And when the only thing you got to do is hunt and get something to eat tonight, it's that primal feeling that kind of comes back. And
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it's interesting. So they just deprive themselves, so that way it's
an interesting thing they experiment with. And there's, I think, a lot of research that shows it's for real.
It's extreme.
Yeah.
It's going the extra mile. I don't know if I'm doing that, but I might just go out and just take a couple shots at it and then go back home and throw a steak on the grill, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not starving myself before I hunt. That's absurd.
Yeah, that's an expert move. I wouldn't do that as a beginner.
It's a Bear Grylls move.
Have you guys have never been hunting, have you?
I've never.
Me either.
My entire family does.
I didn't grow up in a hunting family, and I just never got into it. I like to fish. I'm not a hunter though.
Okay. What have you gone any crazy places to fish, or just general fishing?
Nope. I've never been able to go any crazy places to fish.
I've done a little deep sea fishing. That's fun.
Nice.
Where?
Key West. Or Duck Key, I guess, in the Keys. Down in Florida, and we would basically go for a while. We went to Duck Key 4 or 5 spring breaks in a row, and those guys on those fisherman boats are real talented. And basically, it's a really interesting job, and they're really cool people to talk to, because a lot of times they went, I was in high school, I didn't want to go to college, and I just bit the bullet, drove down to Florida and asked if I could go along on this other fisherman's ride, just give him a helping hand. Didn't want any pay or anything, just maybe some food at the end of the night. Mm-hmm. And he just grind for 10 years or something. And finally he builds himself up to have his own boat. And then this guy just learns everything from this past fisherman. And so there was different times where he would wrap his body in these nets and do this 360 throw, and this net spreads like a football field's length out and grabs our bait. And just these guys know all these tricks. And I'm casting mine out. I can't catch anything. They grab my pole, cast it out, boom, it's caught, and they hand it right to me. And but they're impressive.
So deep sea fishing, is that with the really heavy duty gear? The poles are a lot
more heavy duty. Yeah, and they'll do a lot of cranking. I was younger when I did it per se. Yeah. But they'll do cranking, and then they just hand it to me last second, and then I'm cranking as hard as I can, and they'll either net it or spear it. They speared one of mine. I caught a mackerel. And they speared it midair. Thing came flipping out, and it was about to lose it, and this guy just stabs it in the air.
Are they hunting for big fish, or is it smaller things? Like, are they going after sharks sometimes, maybe? Or?
It all depends what you're going for, because you can go for Brad did a mahi trip where that's all they hunt. That's all they fish for was mahi. Whereas we did a lot of yellowfin tuna. It's really good. and then it all kind of depends as well what bait you're putting out. Mm-hmm. If you put out this bait, this fish is going to want that, but other fish don't care, and this and the other. It's cool.
I don't want to go this far and sound ridiculous, but did you see anybody shooting, like sniping from the crow's nest or anything sweet like that?
No.
Okay.
The boats were pretty tall, though. We had some, and every once in a while, I think one of our trips, a few families even come with you. And there's maybe one or two families, maybe even 3, and some people are getting seasick.
Yeah. Can you eat what you catch?
Yeah, they have a deal with the restaurant where you would get back and they'd say, "Do you want everything to be cooked and it'll be ready at 6 o'clock?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
And so we get this massive meal of all the fish we caught, and it's delicious.
Dynamite, I'm sure.
And then it's
so fresh.
Unreal. It was so good.
Have you guys ever heard of bow fishing?
Uh-uh.
So it's like your normal bow and arrow, and then on the back of the arrow, it's tied to a fishing line. So you can draw it back and hunt with the bow, and then whatever you catch in the water, you can reel it back in.
Oh, that's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I've seen it done before, and it's insane. You have to aim a little high because the light casting from the water changes the reflection of the fish and whatnot. But if you can get that form down, that would be such a fun way.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Kill a lot of time doing that.
So do you have you were saying the light, so how do they don't flash a light into the water? They like put a light underneath?
No, just
or
like, you
anything?
know how if you were to put a straw in a glass of water, that straw's going to look a little distorted?
I guess
Same
if the
thing.
water's
you
clear and
just have to
everything.
aim differently.
No, totally.
Okay. Yes, I just finally clicked in my head. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's
Interesting.
real cool. Fly fishing is really impressive to me too.
Yeah,
it's just the snapping of the.
I don't know. If
Doesn't
I could ever
really
do
make
that.
doesn't really make sense to me. I don't believe it.
Yeah, what is the process and why does one fly fish and not just cast?
Well, because what a lot of fish do is go for insects that just land really quickly on the top of the water. So fly fishing tries to simulate that, and it has a thicker line so you can snap it a little bit more. And then they just snap it so it touches the top of the water and then take it off. And it's supposed to look like a fly is landing on the water.
Look at this guy.
Catch a lot of bass doing that.
Bass Pro himself over here.
That's right.
I like that.
Nice.
Impressive.
Interesting.
Not too big of a fisher myself.
No.
Done it a ton, but I found out that they have successfully cloned a primate. A monkey has been successfully recreated from the embryo. They said
It's the same monkey.
they said let's clone it, and we made this. They made the exact same monkey, and so now they're starting to do a lot of research on it, testing different drugs on it, and this is the first ever primate they've successfully cloned.
Wow. I wonder if it's fertile. Like, I wonder if it could reproduce and have offspring.
That's an interesting concept too, but from what I understand, probably.
It's been done with sheep before, but never something as closely
This is the
related
most
to
complex
us.
they've got.
That's so related to us in terms of genetics.
They named him Zong Zong. It might have been done in Asia due to the name.
Possibly.
Yoshi!
How long would something like that take? Did it say? How long
guess
have they been working on this?
Well, you could argue for 20 years because this is the first time they've actually reached primate.
Yeah.
Because they could never figure out how. They were specifying, there was a part of it that they just couldn't get right. And finally they did this certain formula and the certain new test that allowed them to get deeper into the gene pool. And it was pretty complex, but the gist of it is they finally did a primate. And they were saying it's in its infancy. I think it takes a while, from what I understood.
Just makes you think, though.
They can't just bust out monkeys like it's nothing.
Right. Just makes you think, how close are we to
That's what I'm
cloning a
saying.
human?
I saw some BS on Twitter about it, and look, it's not that close, but I think it's closer than we think.
It's possible, though.
Yeah,
it's
it's
extremely possible
It is.
to do.
It is.
Really interesting question. What's going to be first? Cloning a human, even the brain. I don't know if or creating an AI that's almost as if it's a human. Like, which one will kind of beat
AI
it to
as
the
in
other?
robot?
As in
a robot
yeah,
with a
exactly.
a
A robot that looks exactly like a person.
I feel like that might happen first, just because we're already pretty close.
Yeah.
There's already
beat the
been
cloning.
that robot named Sophia that looks
The
and talks
interviews.
and has actual emotion, and if
They
you
did
can
an
code
interview.
if you can code for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think a big problem with the whole AI thing is the processors, and to get like a small processor to handle all this info and I think that's part of what they're dealing with, but it's crazy.
You could save a lot of species with being able to clone things.
Well, that's a big thing they say
Yeah.
too, is just even taking the heart, taking the lungs, and cloning something and taking these organs that are fully functioning and put them in some is a huge part of things.
You can save, because everything's going extinct, it seems like nowadays, which is so sad, but this technology that you're talking of could change that. Change a lot.
We've touched on this a while ago. Do you think we will have zoos in 20 years from now?
I hope not. I seriously hope not. Or I think they need to be set up differently. I think
set up differently.
They need to be more in the wild instead of in a park, and the people need to be in the cages, like traveling around to these animals instead of us traveling to them in cages.
Yeah.
But do you think that transition can be made? Because it's already zoos have been around forever.
The thing
and
is,
zoos make a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. They make a lot of money, and I don't know if anybody will be able to just shut them down easily.
I have a figure from 2016, $22.5 billion in the United States from zoos alone was, made from all the zoos and aquariums combined. And on a debate website, 60% of people said that zoos should go. 40% of people said they should stay. And if you read some of the people who are in support of them, it's because a lot of them are rescues. So if zoos turned into only rescues, would you be opposed to that? If it was the same, they're in the cages but rescues, is that any better than just nabbing wild animals out, in the middle of the night?
I have my my shields up to that because SeaWorld tried to do that too. They said they were getting a bunch of rescue orca whales, and in reality, they're going out and stealing young orcas from their mothers, and they were totally falsifying information.
Yeah.
But if they were actually being truthful, actually rescuing these animals, then I'd say as long as they release them release them once they reach their health, then I don't have a problem with it now. Because they are informational, and zoos are great for little kids who want to learn more about animals.
So once you help them out, don't keep them around. Let them go back to where they need to go.
I think they ought to.
It's a good point.
What's wild, though, at the same time is, what if going to a zoo is simply going on your couch, throwing on your headset that goes over your eyes, and you're at the zoo? And so maybe is the zoo turn into something where you're actually interacting with the animals? Like, that's how they bring in their market? Just because at that point, who knows if anyone can just throw on glasses and go look at all the animals, and it's perfect quality.
If they did that, then I think that would solve a lot of problems. You're not harming any animals, and you're not profiting off.
And it's not like you get to touch these giant lions anyway. You have to look at them from a distance.
Yeah.
Virtual reality zoos might be on the up and up.
We'll take the patent for that.
Yeah. Get to see some dinos, T-Rex.
When we sort of set the idea of we were going to focus on animals for this podcast, the first thing I thought of was, what are the exotic pet rules in Michigan? What can you get away with? What can you get away with?
I need this info.
And have it be legal. So I'll just share with you guys what can fly and what doesn't. And I actually was inspired by, it was an old video I stumbled upon yesterday. In Detroit, a guy was walking a kangaroo on a leash last year.
This is in Detroit?
In Detroit, yeah. You guys might have seen the video, but he had
I think I did, yeah.
He had a kangaroo on a leash, and he was walking him just in the hood, down the street. Obviously, animal control comes and tries shutting it down, but it turns out the guy was in town for a birthday party or something, so it wasn't a pet or anything like that. But the rules on exotic pets are no large cats, bears, or wolf hybrids. Everything else, as long as you have a permit, you can have.
Well, I was going to say, everything's a permit. To have a monkey, you got to have a permit.
So what are you getting? If you're getting something, let's say you have
a permit.
Yeah, let's say you have like a girl you're trying to impress or something, and you have a lot of money to spend, and you want to get an exotic animal.
One of the coolest things I've ever heard of. This guy, my dad actually saw him at the hospital, and this guy was in a wheelchair. He's really he couldn't really do much himself. His arms didn't work that well, everything, and so he had this pet monkey that was probably maybe double the size of my hand. No, actually, maybe even the size of my hand. Just smaller monkey. But whatever this guy said, the monkey did.
No way.
Guy goes...
Hold on.
Guy said, grab me that pencil. Monkey goes... right down his arm, off his head, down his arm, runs out, grabs the pencil, brings it right back to him. He's got the pencil in his hand. And my dad was saying, the guy was saying, yeah, I'll say, make me a peanut butter and jelly. Monkey runs, grabs the peanut butter, grabs the jelly, grabs the knife.
No.
I'd be like, hey, monkey, do my taxes.
Yeah, there's no way that monkey's making
Finish
PB&J.
this worksheet.
Want to fill out my W-2?
I don't know. Look, I'm not telling you that your dad's a liar, but I'm calling bullshit on that story. There's no way there's a monkey making PB&Js for this dude. There's no possible way.
That would be pretty cool, though.
That's more impressive than cloning the monkey that we were talking. Honestly, that's a lot more impressive than cloning.
Training
that
a
bitch.
monkey to that level of he understands the English language.
Yeah, right.
Maybe he wasn't just speaking to it. Maybe he would do signals, like point, and then it would go grab
That's a little
something.
different.
Maybe
I
I
could see that.
Maybe it's
But-
become a little changed in my head since he told it.
When you sit here and tell me, monkey, go make me a PB&J, and that little monkey goes over and
Chef's
starts
up.
whipping it up, I'm sorry, but I just cannot. I can't.
He's got
really
a little
believe that.
chef's hat on.
All right, so then what would your exotic pet be?
Jeez, I don't know. It wouldn't be a snake. I know it definitely
And
wouldn't
I
be a
don't
snake.
think it's that exotic. A lot of people
Well,
have snakes.
No, I agree.
Well, big snakes, I would say, are exotic. Some people collect just
That's
nasty.
I want
true, that's
nothing
true,
to do
like
with that.
Huge pythons.
Yeah.
I got you.
I wouldn't mind a flamingo or something, or
That'd be cool.
That's a pretty animal. I feel like
That's pretty.
Those
I
are
like
pretty
that.
animal.
Watching it sleep too.
It just stands
To me, it
constantly.
sound creepy, but they sleep on one leg.
Oh, that's right.
They
On one
do.
leg.
They do.
Shoot, I don't know. It wouldn't be anything in a fish tank either. Absolutely. not.
No.
Wouldn't be like a eel or a.
I want to get something that I make
Manta
sure
ray.
that
Oh.
all hell breaks loose. This thing does not kill me. That's
That's
the
true. Keep it in
guideline.
mind.
That's my guideline.
So it's got to be pretty reasonably safe.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think a flamingo could kill me, for example.
It's got a sharp beak.
Yeah, I mean, it would take a lot for
That's what I'm
flamingo
saying.
to kill.
It'd have to
Yeah.
be pretty unlucky.
They're probably pretty
So,
modest.
I don't
how
know.
about you, Den? Anything jumping out?
Sloth.
Oh, that could kill you. though.
I'd get a sloth.
You'd have to have a big
Just
cage for
declaw
that.
that bad boy.
I
guess
wouldn't
declaw
put
it.
it. I wouldn't
There you
put it in a cage. And no, I mean, I don't know. I'd sit down with it and I'd have some talks, and I wouldn't be
Well-
scared for my life at all.
Well, yeah, because you have to get the claws.
These
just
things- you think that
entirely
thing could
removed.
strangle you?
Nah, I'd keep the claws.
No, you wouldn't.
He's not gonna do anything.
Oh no! You
Those
take
things are
those balls
sharp.
off,
Little Chester on the couch next to me. No.
Dude,
Chester.
those things will kill you.
Yeah, but he'll be sitting. Not mine. He'll be sitting down next to me.
What if you
watching Sports Center?
let's say you pass out watching Sports Center, and he wants to
And
cuddle,
all of a
and
sudden-
he like 2 miles per hour brings his arm over and just gouges you.
Yeah, 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, but you're not seeing it coming. You're sleeping.
Just opens up your
If
stuff.
I fall
Yeah.
asleep, he's laying on my chest and cuddling with me. I don't know what you want to say. Sloths are so cute and cuddly.
Out of all people, you should
Yeah.
know that that's nature.
Yeah,
That'll
and
mess you up.
so are his claws, and I don't know if I want them to be removed. It's a part of him. Or her.
A full-blown domesticated beaver would be cool.
Oh, have you build you forts?
Yeah,
In the
I
crib?
just,
Yeah,
I just,
little wooden sculptures.
I leave for work.
chess
I
pieces.
throw out a bunch of wood. Just
All
come
right.
back from work, and I got this huge hut.
Get to work.
You got a sculpture
I
out
got
there.
this mad cool
You got
hut.
an Abe Lincoln hut in the backyard.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's something you could let run around in the backyard. He's got a collar. He's got an electric leash, so he doesn't get too far. But yeah, a full-blown domesticated. Maybe even declaw him because I don't want him hurting me in the house or hurting the kids.
Oh my.
I feel like that would impress people. Go look, take a peek in your backyard. You got a few huts back there. Maybe even a dam on your little pond.
Hey, your entire property is self-sufficient as far as electricity thanks to those beavers.
Yeah, and I just plug in a couple cords and I got electricity for the house. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. I got a question for you guys. So, if what happened after we died was turn into an animal, reincarnate as an animal, and you got to choose which animal you were reincarnated as, what would it be?
Any human being doesn't count, I take it?
No,
right?
it can't be a human. It can be anything.
Dane just
Except for
becomes
you.
a human again. Thanks for the clarification.
Hey, we're animals. We're all animals.
No, I know.
I should've-
It
I
was
should've
just
said-
funny.
And it can't be an extinct animal. It's got to be a living animal?
That's a great one. I've always held true to myself that if I ever got the chance, I would totally become an anteater.
Mm-hmm.
What's so good about anteater's life?
You do talk about anteaters a lot.
I don't know why that's such a stick out.
They have a pretty chill diet. Nobody.
It's just bugs, right?
Just ants.
Bugs and small fruits
okay.
You don't really ever hear of any
Yeah.
anteaters attacking anybody, or you don't hear a lion say, "Yeah, I would love some anteater right now."
Right.
But
All the
I'm
lions,
sure there has been lions that
Sure,
have
it's
murdered
happened.
some
Sure, it's
anteaters.
Yeah, but
Just
that's the
just
truth with everything.
Any animal you're
For
gonna get, you can
game.
get murdered by something.
When you gotta eat, you gotta
For
eat.
trophy.
So,
I've heard
True.
anteaters are just trophy hunts
Anteaters
for
gotta eat.
lions.
but other than that, I would like to become, and I think an air animal. The more I've thought about it through this podcast, an air animal would be pretty cool. Like maybe a bald eagle
That's
That
true.
would
A
be
bald
pretty-
eagle.
That'd be pretty cool.
or turkey vulture, dude. Free food everywhere. Just hit the road.
Yeah, you gotta fly a long way, but that's all right. I mean, you gotta move.
Those things are
no
big
matter
though.
what.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
true.
know what hunts a turkey vulture. What would hunt that? Because that's a pretty big.
Condor, and they're basically the same animal.
Right.
I don't even, they're huge though.
What is the most vicious air? mammal?
Yeah,
Is
I don't
that-
know. A condor is up there, I'm sure.
Condor's probably pretty bad, or a buzzard.
I don't know. What
There have
that
been-
Yeah,
is.
turkey
Bu-
buzzard. Yeah, same thing.
Buzzards have been known to, like they got. I think a few of them live in Africa, and they've been known to pick up malnourished kids.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
like, eat malnourished.
That
kids.
is wild.
Yeah, that is in their
The
diet.
fact that is flying around
Yes.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
what are you doing if you're outside and your kid is swooped up by a condor?
hopefully I have a gun somewhere in the house. I don't even know. I really because
Are
I
you
might hit the
hightailing
kid.
it behind him in your car, or
You could drop my kid at any time. I'm probably running with my hands
oh,
outstretched.
you're not catching that?
That's a
that
good
bird.
Probably
point.
not,
He might
but,
drop
yeah.
him.
I'd say the kid might just be gone at that point.
I tell you though, I
Might
would.
be down
Might
the
be.
kid.
That's terrible.
I wouldn't want to be. I would hate to be a seagull or a just.
They're kind of bottom feeders. They're
Eat
kind of
human
mangy.
garbage. Yeah.
But that's what's wrong with turkey vultures. They're mangy birds too. They're like the coyotes
Yeah, but they
of the
eat
sky.
actual animal, dead animal. Seagulls eat like trash.
Do you think?
That's
do you think
true.
they're
That's
pumped
true.
to eat that too?
Yeah.
Like
They gotta be. They've evolved to be able to eat.
Right.
But if
that
you were to
so
give them like a
easily.
steak dinner, sat on a plate, fresh, maybe even some potatoes, some garlic seasoning,
yeah,
A
or
pile of trash.
this whatever they normally eat, whether
Yeah,
that's a dead animal. Do you think they go for that steak or the dead animal first, or is that their flavor profile?
I
Where they
I
just
think we
love
could
it?
run these tests. It's something we can do.
We could do it.
I don't think we would find anything significant to support that they like the steak better than the
That's
the
true.
roadkill.
How do
I
you-
think it's going to be about the same, just by chance that they
I think
pick.
most of the time they'll
I
be
wonder if they.
hopping back and
I wonder
forth.
if they
Yeah.
really taste much. Rather, it's just energy. Do
No.
they have? I guess their tongue.
They probably taste a little bit, but
Like they don't have as advanced.
That's true. You
taste
could
buds
taste.
as us.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
wow. Do birds taste?
That's
one for the-
That is one interesting one.
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I bet it's known. I bet that's a question
Uh-huh.
that's been answered.
Yeah, I'm sure of it.
We don't know for sure though. right?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to just touch back a little bit on the ocean really quick, just
Please.
because that's my favorite. Even though it grosses me out, it's my favorite thing to talk about.
And we don't know. We don't know.
Grosses you out or scares you?
Both.
Okay.
Scares me too significantly.
Yeah.
A lot.
Same.
Just a couple of things I read. So, 72% of the Earth covered by salt water. So that's not even including freshwater, Great
Right.
Lakes, whatever. Oceans are a home to 230,000 species alone. That's all we know of. And they say, 5% is all that's been explored. The other 95%.
Maybe
Whoa.
10%.
Maybe
has been-
10%.
Really?
The oceans have been explored.
Right.
Really?
They say
I
we've
didn't know
discovered less than 10% of what is going on in the ocean, which is crazy to think
that.
about.
How is that possible?
The ocean is so deep,
I realize.
Yeah.
and we just do not have the tools to go down there and look at everything.
Not yet, no.
But only 10% is crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
It seems like if you went 10 meters down, the entire surface of the ocean, that would be about 10%. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so we haven't seen the majority of what's out there. My question is, I read a little something on what we could possibly find in the future. And there are things from cures for diseases. There are things from, just things that we use every day, maybe like an energy source.
I'm sure of it.
But do you think in our lifetime, let's just say cancer and AIDS will be the two examples, do you think we find a cure for something like that? And do you think it comes from the ocean?
I think it's really possible because already from the ocean, they've found these bacteria living around thermal vents that give out a lot of sulfur, and they don't need any oxygen. They use sulfur in place of oxygen. And they have these genes that make them really durable, basically. And geneticists have already taken out genomes and been able to splice this bacterial DNA into the DNA of other organisms. So if we can find something that has genes that are able to withstand proteins that cancer creates, then there's definitely a chance that we could incorporate that into our bodies. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
And it could be in the ocean because there's so much of it that we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
They're testing with a lot of things. Like you said, there's bacteria and algae, and they think some of it could fight off cancer cells or whatever it may be, which is kind of exciting to think about. Especially because there's 90% plus more that we haven't even touched yet.
Right. I just still can't believe that.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
But just how long, I wonder, is if we'll see it in our lifetime, I guess, is what I'm asking more of. If it happens.
Do you think in our lifetime more of the ocean will be discovered or more of space will be discovered?
The ocean.
You think so?
I think, it's just more obtainable. I think it's more obtainable than space.
It is. If we focus as much effort into the ocean as we already are into space, then I think a lot more of it would be discovered at this point.
Right. But
we've had missions to go to the moon.
That's true.
And it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But.
That's true. What kind of initiatives say, we got to find more of the ocean? You don't see that anywhere.
Yeah.
Or any news about that.
Right. Because for all we know, we might not be able to live on the Earth much longer, so why are you going to invest in the ocean?
Let's just go underwater.
World. Maybe. But I think that's where the investing in the moon and stuff comes from. Is we've already invested what we've invested in this planet. People are kind of moving on now. It's just sad, but
the thing is,
it's sad. But
with our population size, we're reaching a carrying capacity, and sooner or later, we're not going to be able to support everybody.
No, we're not. Something's got to be done.
Just got to keep building up.
Nose goes
Journey to Mars. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows if we'll run into that problem?
We'll see.
Yeah. One thing they recently found they figured out that this new bird used to exist in the dinosaur era that they never thought existed or they never found out before. So I think they found some bones and took the bones and recreate some sort of proteins from the bones to actually show what it looked like and what color. Anyways, they figured out that the bird was covered in I should know this. Hummingbirds, I couldn't think. You know the color of a hummingbird? It's that rainbowish kind of tint and soft, weird color. They found out that that's what this bird looks like, and you can see it here as well. But it's kind of this sloth-looking bird that's covered in these, basically these metallic rainbow. And they were saying that after this discovery and more research into it, they think a lot of the Jurassic World, as it was before us, was way more colorful than we imagined.
Wow.
And so they're saying that from this finding, and as they're looking into more things, that there seems like there was a lot of things that had these colorful kind of metallic on them or camouflage, you could say, on them that we hadn't necessarily predicted.
How do you go back that far to be able to tell? Seriously.
And I was trying to figure out how this even comes to it.
They're probably just comparing the genome of
That's what
hummingbirds.
it's a lot of
and
looking into the genes.
maybe they know the gene that gives them that color, and then they find the same gene in these parts of
maybe more of
animals
these
that they're
dinosaurs
discovering.
that they've already discovered, and it was just they were
Talk
saying that.
comparisons and speculation, really. But I mean,
A lot of speculation.
I've always been super interested in dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. As a little kid, I always loved them, and I would love to live in a world where we know for sure what they looked like.
Yeah, that's what's
'Cause we
wild
really
is
don't.
we have
We
these
know
images
about
in
it.
our head, but truly that could be 1,000% false.
Totally.
Right.
I mean, to a point. I mean, you have the bone structure and everything.
Yeah, but like a T-Rex could have been extremely furry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
like,
would we know?
Exactly,
yeah.
and that's what this almost points out is it might look different than we have in our minds. It might be this covered in this metal. Like, a lot of that might be that way, which is just I couldn't believe this.
It's a lot of speculating. It's
It's
hard.
a ton of speculating.
It's hard.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite dinosaur?
No, I never got into dinosaurs.
That's what I'm saying.
that
I never
much.
got lost in that.
But they used to scare me a lot. When I'm serious, when we used to learn about them in elementary school, I would be spooked that these massive creatures would roam and just kill each other for millions of years until they were wiped out by something massive. Scared
I've
me.
always liked velociraptors. Velociraptors are pretty cool. They're like not too big, but they're ferocious. I don't know. I like them.
No. I don't know enough about dinosaurs to even really give an accurate opinion. But
What I know comes from Jurassic Park.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on before?
I think I'm all good.
All right.
I
Well,
liked how this turned out.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was our animal podcast, and we'll see you next week for a new topic.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
That was fun. That was fun. Something my mom always says.